Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. So today I'm going to show you how to replace the AD-10 replacement liners on your AD-10. Now I'm specifically going to be showing you with the Tiffany blue, since these ones are slightly thicker than 1/16 inch thick. But all the other colors on the site are the correct thickness, so there's really not going to be an issue. And not that this is really an issue, but there is a trick since these are just a tad thicker. But we'll get right into it. And if you guys are interested in picking some of these up, I'll leave a link down below where you can pick up a set in certain colors. I think I have 5 other colors, but I like to start with the D-shaped hole or the pocket clip side scale, and I'll take the D-shaped pivot pin and stick it through just to have it ready. And you have to find that flat spot or the D-shaped area, and it slides right in. Then I'll take one of the liners, slide them right on top just to have it ready for the back spacer. Now with this back spacer, it does have D-shaped holes for the standoffs. So what I like to do is pick the furthest one up or at the bottom, since these two are for the pocket clip. So I'm just going to slide one through. I'll start it here at the top. And it's a little tricky, but you can get it in there. And they like to slide out, so that's why I like to do one at a time. But I'll grab the setup we just did. And see, just like that, it falls right out. So you got to be pretty careful with it. Sometimes they stick in, especially if the knife is brand new. But I like to place it flat. Use my eye to make sure I can see through. And then I'll grab one of the screws and put it through. And you'll feel it want to go through the hole, but I like to put pressure on that standoff so it doesn't fall through. And what I like to do is just get it started or threaded loosely, just to make sure that it is biting into the threads. And again, this is where that trick comes in. So you want the standoffs to be kind of protruding a little bit higher than the back spacer. And then I will do the opposite end, or the back or the bottom hardware hole, sorry. And again, same thing, get a screw ready, get one of the D-shaped standoffs, slide it through, and this way you're not fighting all of the standoffs if you're trying to get the hardware in. And then same thing, pop it through, and then just again loosely or lightly get it started. And then what I'm going to do is take the pocket clip here. So really these are the only 2 holes, or actually on the other side I'll show you, but I can get these through. Actually, let me slide the standoffs in first. So the reason why these Tiffany blue liners are a little bit thicker is they came a little bit thicker from where I ordered them. So this is the little trick I figured out. But again, putting a little pressure with my fingers so the standoffs don't slide out, and then I can flip it over and put the pocket clip on. And I'm going to do the same thing with the pocket clip screws. I'm just going to get them started and not tighten them. There we go. I have to push that pivot pin through. There we go. And then I will put on the washers, and the copper washer goes, or the bronze washer goes on first, and the little nylon washer goes against the blade. So that's how I like to keep track of it. So I'll slide that on. Then I'll put the stop pins, and the thicker or the fatter radius stop pin goes in the front, and you can see there's little lines that go around on both of them. There's just those little ridges, and I've noticed the back one has 2 and the front one has 1, so I guess you can kind of look at it as 1 and 2. So that's what I like to do, is put the one ridge in the front and then the second one in the back. Then we'll grab the lock bar, and I like to slide it in, basically like it's locked in. Put the washers on, again the nylon washer first, and then the bronze. And again, I like to oil these up, but since I'm just doing the install for this video, I'm not going to do that at the moment. But take the lock bar, or sorry, the tension bar, slide it through, and then actually use my fingers to just kind of force it down under the lock bar. It kind of pokes your finger, but it's nothing too crazy. Then we have the stop pin here. Slide that right in. And then I like to put the liner on first, just to make sure everything lines up, which it should. And it does. Put the scale on. Sometimes you have to, sometimes it'll fight you, and what I like to do is just kind of open it up and bend the blade just a tad, and that actually allows you to kind of push the pivot pin through if it's not letting you do it, but it is letting me do it at the moment. And then I like to put the hardware screws, so this is where the trick comes in. I like to just get them all in there. And from the other side, what I'm going to do is, actually I'm going to put the pivot pin screw in, just so the scale doesn't fall off, or the pivot pin doesn't fall through, but that rarely happens. And just snug, not crazy tight, just snug. Then what I like to do is push the screw from the other side, and that kind of allows that standoff to push a little bit higher, and then it will allow you to put your screw in. And you'll feel it bite. So this, the show side scale side, is the side you really want those screws to bite. Same here, push this, and it's gonna wanna bite. And just kind of repeat that process. So again, pushing on the pocket clip side, whoops. And so I'm doing the top one, so I'm gonna push. And then with this one, get it nice and started there. It's gonna bite. And then one more. And then the thing I noticed is these top three, or the center, and then these top two are the ones that you're kind of going to have issues with. So again, that little trick of keeping these ones loose and pushing allows the screw to bite, or the threads. And again, you don't have to go crazy tight, just go snug, because you don't want to strip the screw. And then, I don't want to cut myself, so I'm going to close this. And then now that everything's loose on this side, you can just snug everything down, and it'll keep the hardware from stripping on the other side. So basically this allows, again, that standoff to push up a little bit higher, and allows the thread on the hardware on this side to actually bite into those standoffs. And then you're pretty much good to go. It's just, yeah, it's unfortunate the material came a little bit thick, but to thin it down is actually a lot of work. So I sat down and I had to figure out how to make this a little bit easier and work. So there it is. I mean, it's installed. You might have to, yeah, a little bit loose, but just snug. And again, I like to use the blue Loctite. A lot of people think this is the red one, but it's blue inside. It's just they put it in the red tube. But I'm going to be upgrading to the paste here pretty soon. But everything is snug and it functions. But there it is, the Tiffany blue aligners. That basically, that little trick is required because, again, the thickness. But there it is. And the other colors are not going to be an issue. They will install no problem. You don't have to do this trick. But again, just snug with the hardware. Nothing crazy. But that is it. You guys, thank you again for the support. I really appreciate you guys watching. And again, if you guys are interested in picking up some of these replacement liners, leave a link down below. And yeah, the support is always appreciated. Can't thank you guys enough. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.